First of all, it's easy for us to have been impressed by what Erling Haaland's delivered already, but what's impressed you most about him since he's been here, and what further improvement do you believe he's capable of now?
I think everyone talk a lot, so we are the light, and hopefully he feels good, comfortable being here.
Is it his work ethic, though, as well, Pep? The fact that he's made this adjustment, I mean, what do you see within him day to day that has made that adjustment to Premier League football relatively straightforward, certainly from our point of view, anyway, looking at it?
I have another opinion about that, so we didn't have doubts, and especially we are just 1 month, or 1 month of competition, so many games still to come and many years, so still margin to improve, to be better player, and we are working on that.
You've now got 6 games in 18 days as well, and you've spoken of the need over that period to maybe rest Erling Haaland. I just wonder what you're seeing from Alvarez, that when it comes to that decision to rest Haaland, it'll be made that little bit easier because of what you're seeing from Alvarez.
Yeah, definitely. When Erling maybe we think doesn't play, he's going to play Julian. Yeah, that's almost sure. What
are those qualities that you're seeing from Alvarez that, as I say?
We are, all of us, we are really impressed for the guy, for the pace, for the sense of goal, for the work ethic, yeah, for many things.
You spoke again about Bernardo Silva after the weekend, seeing the importance that he has within this squad. Are you now at the stage where he, along with no one else, you can say, will be leaving before that transfer deadline, and in turn, what the likelihood is that you could further add to your squad before that deadline as well?
With Bernardo, it's everything I've said many times, so how important it is for us, and just 1 or 2 days, finally, the transfer window will be over and everyone will be focused on what you have to do.
Can you categorically say no more business for yourselves?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Just finally for me, Pep, obviously, when you look at the defensive record at the minute, I just wonder what concerns you have over the fact that you've trailed by 2 goals in 4 of your last 6 league meetings now, going back to last season, of course.
Yes, we had to try to avoid it. In one term it's good, because in the past, in the last years, always when we were down, we were difficult to come back. Now we proved last season, this season we can do it, but we have to try to avoid it as much as possible, to go in vantage and try to handle or manage this situation.
The positive is you've lost none of those 4 where you have trailed by 2 goals.
Yeah, but it's risk. So one day we'll not be able to come back.
Hi Pep, it's 7 years ago to the day since Kevin De Bruyne signed for Manchester City. There were some people who didn't think he would be a success here, but have you been surprised even yourself at just how much of a success he's been and how much he is important to this club?
Well, it was a really good sign for Man City, so 7 years is many years. Has done brilliantly, so since then, before I came here, I knew it from Germany. I saw for him. When I was in Bayern, he was in Wolfsburg, and many games I saw for him. And the light that how he has performed in this time.
Nottingham Forest have signed 18 players, spending about £150 million. How much does that say about the ambition that they have to stay in the Premier League this season, do you think?
Well, show a lot. This what the club want to be. I'm pretty sure that means they want to stay in the Premier League for many years. It's a historical club, no doubts about that. Many years was not there, and yeah, so it's a new team, with the same style that last season, and yeah, it's another game at home with our people. Try to do a good game.
Pep, do you think conceding goals is a consequence of the way that you attack? Because if you didn't concede and you scored all the time, it'd be perfect.
No. So you say as much attack, that's why we concede?
The more you attack and push forward players, then the chances are that other teams can break on you sometimes.
After 6 years, you do this question, 6 seasons. So we have done like this, and our level to concede goals was minor. It's the quality when some distractions or Still, we have to do it, but it's completely the opposite. As much far away you are your goal, you are safer. And we prove it this 6-7 years that a part of win the Premier Leagues, we concede few chances and we concede few goals in playing that way. So we are going to adjust something. We have to adjust something. It's normal in that period, and it's going to happen. So always we concede few. Last game against Crystal Palace, we concede few. So one corner, one free kick, one shoot in the first half, no more than that. So that is brilliant. But set piece is an important part of the game as well. The transition is important part of the game. But what we have done, I understand this question in my first season or second season. But after 6-7, what we have done playing this way, think because we concede goals, score goals, but we attack more, is honestly no sense.
It just seems as though you've adjusted something and you are even more of an offensive threat. Does that mean that at the back there are issues that you have to address? There are things that are not.
Always we score a lot of goals, we concede few these years, otherwise we cannot win the Premier League, that's for sure. And now we are scoring, a lot of goals as well, but in the same time we are conceding a lot. And if we don't stop that, it will be difficult, because not all the time you can score 4 or 5 goals to win the game for 1 or 2 margins. So we have to be better in that situation, especially in two concepts like the opponents are so important and difficult is the transitions and the set pieces. And in that, if we don't control it, we are going to suffer.
Hi, Pep. Back to De Bruyne. 7 years ago to this day he signed for the club, but likes of Phil Thompson and Paul Merson said that the world is going mad with the transfer fee and it was bonkers. What do you say about that now when you've seen him in City?
Everything is open to talk and to say his opinion. I have to accept it. In the good things we are good, in the bad things we are bad, and the people maybe didn't know him, and that's why the haters, they are open to do it. So important is he was calm, is calm, will be calm. To do a job on the pitch is the most important thing.
You saw him in Bayern, and you, of course, have had a lot of use of him here in City. Can you tell us exactly what makes him so extremely important, besides the numbers, of course, that we see?
I think we should show on the TV. You see how he plays, define Kevin perfectly for himself the way he plays, not necessarily to talk about his incredible talent, his work ethic, and his commitment with the club, with the mates, with everyone. He's a vice captain already, so there's no doubt about that. So these type of players, they are too good. You have to watch it, what they do, not necessarily words. Just how is Kevin? Watch the games, and you will discover him.
And I think a lot of people is wondering if Erling is going to play tomorrow, or when are you going to rest him, considering the match program in the future?
Tomorrow you will see it.
Okay. Last question for me. We saw Gündogan came in from the bench last match, had a great impact. What can you say about him and the relations with Erling and De Bruyne with Erling?
Another player, many years together, so the impact in the team is always positive. Especially this season, I had the feeling he started really well. Last game, I didn't take risks. Have some niggles in his leg before the game against Crystal Palace. I didn't want to take risks for the amount of games that we have. He could have played, but I didn't want to take risks. Have been so important so far, not just in terms of goals and assists and many things. So Gundo have been like Kevin, like Bernardo, like many players, so important.
Well, Pep, just to follow up on what you were being asked about Julian, just basically because like in every minute that he's been involved, he's been great. And what's the thing that probably have surprised you the most since the first day that you had him?
How good he is. I know him a little bit on TV, clips, games in River Plate. Surprised how good he is.
Because I think that you mentioned like in the past seasons that Gabriel Jesus was like one of the best like strikers with the pressing and with the off-the-ball movements. But with what we have seen of Julian so far, like in Barcelona and in some games, he's like really good in the pressing as well. Do you think that he can reach that kind of level, of elite level in that regard as well?
Yeah, definitely. So humble and always positive, and every training session they give everything, and I like this type of players, and and the impact was in pre-season, and now when he played the minutes in the competition when he came in Camp Nou, who could do a hat trick without the problems. He was involved in 2 goals last game, always behind close the balls, like having a sense to be in the right position, the right moment. So when he dropped, he had quality to play. We are delighted. I know the people are talking a lot, Erling, and we are pleased on that. But Julian is an exceptional player.